Hey guys, it's Travis Ewert with Invictus Gymnastics, and we're going to discuss ring strap lengths. The strap length on rings does vary, and it's the only piece of equipment for gymnastics movements that really does change depending on the situation, right? So if you go to one gym, sometimes they've got rings hanging from the rafters, so high, and then some gyms you go in and they're kind of hanging off the rig and the straps are much shorter. So I just want to kind of go into the whole physics of what's happening when you're swinging on those different rings, and just want to point some things out because it does make a big difference when it comes to what kind of muscle up or how you approach the muscle up for that particular set. And that's why I suggest you do what I call a two-step ring muscle up on longer straps, whereas you do a hip driving muscle up on shorter straps. Okay. So we're just going to get into it and just like talking about the ring, the strap, and how it moves. So we'll say, for example, we've got a short strap and then we've got a long strap, okay? The ring is attached, obviously. Now, when you swing on the rings, say the ring strap is here and this is your body, typically you're moving beneath the rig, right? And your body's not going to get longer or shorter. You're just kind of like lengthened out. So when you're swinging on a short set of rings, short strap rings, your body could move forward and backward only so far, and same thing here. And so what it really comes down to is what angle is the ring strap at when you're swinging your biggest, okay? So we'll say, for example, the athlete, is about like this long from hands to feet. So we'll say feet down here, they're holding onto the ring, and now the ring is out here, right? And because the center of their body's mass is going to stay beneath the top of the rig where the ring strap is mounted, the ring is only going to move so far. So we'll just take this distance right here, okay, from the strap to the far edge of the ring. We're going to do the same thing here from strap to the far edge of the ring, which should be somewhere out here. Now, do keep in mind that if we were to take a ring and kind of swing it around the rig, that would create a circle. And so the strap length is the radius of the circle. So from the center of the circle to the outside. And so the radius is much longer on this one. So what that means is that instead of, moving up this way, as if you were to swing that ring around, this one's going to move in such a longer swoop. It's going to have a longer way to go around the rig naturally, right? So as the ring moves all the way out here, it's going to be right about that position. So the same athlete swinging hard will push the ring out there, okay? Now, it does make a difference with the long straps and the short straps for the same reason why we changed muscle ups to how big you can swing. I don't know if you guys have ever jumped up on, say, shorts. Well, of course, right? So you've got short straps for low rings hanging off a pull-up bar. You jump up, you hold yourself up there. Now, if you guys have ever jumped up on a set of long straps, maybe from a box, and jump up, it feels really wiggly. And it feels wiggly because it comes down to the angle of the strap. So basically, these two are going to behave the same way at the same angle. So you can see this right here. We'll say this is about 45 degrees. So that's 30 degrees right here. So a 30-degree angle in this strap would be, okay, here's 45, right? Somewhere around there. 30-degree angle would be maybe way out here. So this angle being 30 degrees, sorry for my handwriting, and this angle being 30 degrees, that strap is going to want to return back down to plumb vertical, the same here as here, right? The difference is that the ring isn't heavier when this is bigger, so it does move a little bit more slowly, but for all intents and purposes, the longer the strap is, the more it's going to wiggle around when you jump up there, because the angle, like if you're moving just a matter of, 6-8 inches in a wiggle here, that only puts the ring going like this far. Now 6 to 8 inches up here, also this far, but at the same time, that's a much deeper angle than this one, which is much more shallow, right? And so when you are on short straps, it feels a lot more secure. They don't move around so much because they want to return to plumb vertical, because by moving them just slightly, that increases the angle of the strap so much that it wants to return, right? So this is super wiggly. I'm gonna erase this here. Now, keeping in mind that the long strap, generally speaking, likes to move more, right? Well, it's because it doesn't move very far as in regards to the angle of the strap. I hope I said that right. Now, one thing that I want you to pay attention to on the short strap is that, say the ring does move out here, right? The height of the ring has increased as the ring moved away from vertical. So if you're attached to that ring, you are also going to rise. Now with a long strap here, and then it moved the same distance, the amount of height difference here is very minimal. So because the height just only barely goes up, your body doesn't lift very much. I hope that makes sense to you. Because you are attached to the ring. Now it is easier to swing high on this, so you can get your center of body's mass much higher, but because the ring doesn't really rise very much, if you're familiar with the snap pull, right? It is when you are doing a hip driving muscle up, you swing, you extend your hips and you pull back on the ring at the same time. When you pull back on the ring, just considering this idea, that ring, if it goes back just a tiny bit that direction, it rises as well. So the last thing you end up doing at the bottom of beneath the rings when you're doing hip driving muscle up is you pull back, which increases the amount of height your body's going to ultimately get. Now, if you do that here, you may have to pull back super, super hard, and it's very inefficient because even if I pull back, you know, like say this far, which is unreasonable, right? But if I pull back this far, that ring barely even comes up. And so it doesn't give me that upper body height boost that you would get on a short strap. So that's just the general idea with the strap lengths. You have to imagine that they're not going to be just short and long straps. There's a medium length strap. And also, I don't want to get too complicated with it, but if I am as tall as I am, I'm 5'8", which is 173 centimeters, right? If I am my height and I go to a strap that is about as high or long as I am tall, that's going to be a pretty long strap for me. Now, I've got some friends here that are just towering above me. If they go over and they're using the same strap length as me, it's going to behave differently because their body is longer. So their body length from hands to feet in proportion to that strap length will dictate how they will approach that muscle up. I hope that's not terribly complicated for everybody to understand. And I know this was kind of a mess, and I'm not wearing an Invictus Gymnastics shirt, but I did want to kind of like run that down into some sort of terms that you could think from. And hopefully you will understand that pulling back for a snap pull on long strap muscle ups is inefficient because there's not really a lot of height gain. And honestly, pulling back is a lot of energy to expend. So it's worth it here, but here not so much. And so on the long straps, we changed the way that you do the muscle up to a supine position and then a dynamic ring row, because that, as far as energy is concerned, is more efficient to catch in the bottom of a catch position and then swing and kip up than it is to try to drive your hips up and really pull back on the ring.